Once Human is going to be releasing on July 9th, and this game has a twist added to gameplay mechanics called Deviants. Essentially, these are capturable creatures which can buff your combat, mine some ores at your base, or even possibly turn you into a chair of all things. There are 49 of these Deviants coming to the launch of Once Human, and today I'm going to break down every single one of them, how you can get them, as well as what they do. Well, at least the abilities that we know of, because there are still some deviant powers that are unknown as of this point. I'm going to break this down region by region, trying to follow the order that you unlock these regions. So let's go ahead and start off here in the Dayton Wetlands. There are 7 deviants here that you can get. The first one is the very first deviant that you get in the tutorial, and this is the Butterfly's Emissary. This is a combat deviant with 2 abilities, Fatal Flaw and Auto Attack. The latter explains itself with the title being a brief window of time where the butterfly will auto attack. And Fatal Flaw is an ability that when you throw it, it will inflict status damage on a hostile target, tagging that target's weak spot with an 80% of its weak spot's damage for 15 seconds. This description is a little bit confusing, but essentially what it boils down to is this butterfly will hit a single target really hard, and then it will make it to where you will hit harder on that target for right around 15 seconds. This works best on bosses and actually is a really useful deviant, especially being the one that just comes right out of the tutorial. The second deviant we are going to cover is called Buzzy Bee, and you can find this one inside of the hidden chests on the PvE servers. I believe that these are the chests that you have to find by collecting those teleporting gems. I'm not 100% sure on that though. I never got this deviant, but what it will do is it will buff your farming mutations. So while I was playing, I found a pumpkin that was purple rarity, and this didn't decay or anything, but was still edible. I'm assuming that this is what buffing your farming mutation means, and that this Buzzy Bee might increase the odds of higher rarity crops. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think buffing farming mutations means. But let's go ahead and move on into the next deviant called Space Turner. This will unlock a potion for you called Space Twister. And with this potion, you will be able to open a portal and summon your teammates to you. This deviant is most commonly found around door puzzles. So I want to point out here quickly that Space Turner and Buzzy Bee are technically in Dayton Wetlands, but I do believe that you can unlock these anywhere throughout the map. But let's go ahead and move on to the 4th deviant called Pup Buddy. You can find this inside of the hidden chests only on PvP servers, and this will give you the ability to craft a potion that is going to increase your carry capacity. Next up, we have Gingerbread House and Disco Ball, both of which can be found in various locations throughout the map. Specifically for the wetlands, though, we are looking at the hilltop just northwest of the Deadwater camp. The Disco Ball unlocks a potion called Utter Delight, which will increase the durations of other whims. And the Gingerbread House will unlock a food that, when consumed, will turn you into a piece of furniture. The final deviant that we have to go over in the Dayton Wetlands is the Festering Gel. You get this from beating the Foul Shadowhunter boss, which is the first big boss that the main quest line pushes you to. Festering Gel is another combat deviant with 2 spells called Flawless Fortification and Build Fortification. Flawless Fortification, upon being thrown, will knock back enemies nearby the target and form a new fortification, while Build Fortification is going to form a half wall, essentially, that is going to block attacks. The next region that we have to go over is the Broken Delta, and there are 9 deviants in this region, but some of them are repeats. So let's go ahead and keep it rolling with the Electric Eel deviant. You have a chance to acquire this deviant from fishing, and what this is going to do is buff the electricity generation at your base. Next up, we have Huggin' a Bowl, which is a random spawn near streets and railroad tracks. This will unlock a food recipe called Homestyle Noodles that is going to recover all of your sanity. Sanity is an important thing to keep track of in this game. Essentially, the lower your sanity, the lower your maximum health is. So this is probably going to be a nice deviant to look for. But we also have one called Frog the Leaper, and this one can be found near lily pads and vehicle stacks. What this will do is unlock a potion called Spring Legs that will allow you to jump higher. Next up, we have Fetch a Lot Bunny, which can be obtained by chopping big trees with axes. This is a deviant with an ability that will gather items for you. This is huge. I never got this one, but I'm for sure going to be grinding for it at launch. It sounds like almost like an auto looter deviant, if you will. I'm not sure. It might be something you have to put at your base, but I don't think it is. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, but you can also get a deviant called Logging Beaver, which is one that you put at your base. You find this at the fishing docks, and what it will do is it will go out and chop logs for you around your territory. The second to last deviant in the Broken Delta, we have Mr. Wish, which can be obtained as a drop in the Silo Sigma party room. Most regions on this map have a silo raid to them, and each of those silos have a deviant tied to them. These are an RNG drop though, so you might have to do the silos a few times before you get one. Mr. Wish is a combat deviant though with two abilities called Target Paint and Auto Attack. Target Paint will rapidly fire at enemies and inflict bullseye on them, prioritizing targets inside of the crosshair. The final deviant for Broken Delta is called Harvest Seed, and this is obtained from the region boss. This will unlock a potion recipe called Chrysalis Elixir, and what this will do is it will generate a shield that will block damage when you are critically injured. The next region that we have to go over is called Iron River, starting off with the deviant called By the Wind, which can be dropped by the prime war bosses on the PvE servers. This is a combat deviant with two abilities called Gravity Lift and Combat Assist. What Gravity Lift will do is it's going to create a gravity lift that allows you to fly in the air and move through the air for 12 seconds. This might actually be a really good deviant to get for ease of access when it comes to quick looting different towns. Next up though, we have Hungry Hopper, which also has a chance to spawn near lily pads, and unfortunately we do not have any descriptions as to what this deviant does, so be sure to let me know down in the comments what your guesses are. But next up we have H37, and this is unlocked via quest in Iron River, specifically at the refinery pollution plant. You have to rescue H37, and then you will end up going back to the Greywater camp, talking both to H37 and Vegan to unlock this deviant. The ability here is insane actually. It's called Loot Crate, and what it will have you do is explore different areas of this place called Loot Crate. The higher that your deviant's energy rating is, the better the Loot Crate rewards will be. Speaking of deviant's energy, I'm not going in depth on this video, but I do want to touch on it. You can increase each of these deviant's powers by meeting certain conditions. For example, this Loot Crate one likes crops and flowers, as well as high temperatures. This system seems really similar to how the egg hatching system inside of Pal World works. But next up we have Shefosaurus Rex, which can be obtained as a random drop from the Silo-Fi bedroom on the PvE servers. And this is going to buff your cooking, but from the same silo on the PvP servers, you can get the deviant called Pyro Dino, which is a combat deviant with both an AoE attack as well as a focused attack. The final deviant in Iron River comes from the area boss and is called Dreamcatcher. This unlocks a potion recipe that will give you the Weaver effect, which is going to allow you to generate spider silk, which will slow down enemies. That's 3 regions down. We've got 3 left to go. This is where the info starts to get a little bit unconfirmed, because these regions were locked off during the demo. But let's go ahead and start off with Chalk Peak. Over here, you can unlock the Grumpy Bulb from harvesting onions. This is a combat deviant with a couple of abilities presumed to be some sort of confuse, as well as status damage attacks. Next up, we have the Polar Jelly, which comes as a random drop from the Silo Siren boss. This is another combat deviant with a Frost Slash attack and an auto attack. Finally, presumably from the region boss inside of Chalk Peak, we have the deviant called Canine Skull. This is yet another combat deviant with a Splinter Strike and auto attack ability. Splinter Strike will have it split into 3 and attack nearby enemies. The next region we have to go over is called Red Sands, and over here we have the Enchanting Void deviant, which is obtained as a random drop from this region's silo on the PvE server specifically. It's a combat deviant with the Midnight Maul attack that will have the deviant transform into a panther and attack a hostile target, causing the attacked target to receive 100% melee damage for 20 seconds. At the same silo over on PvP servers, you can get Dr. Teddy, which has both a remote healing and intimate healing ability. Next up, we have a deviant called Rebecca, which you need to be level 50 for, and you can get this at the LEA Research Facility. This is a territory deviant that will help with energy recovery, as well as apparently it is going to play the piano at your base. This is interesting because there are other deviants whose energy levels, if you will, get boosted when music is being played. This might be something that you can tie together to help those deviants out. And then finally, from the Red Sands region boss, we have the Nutcracker deviant, which is a territory deviant that is going to patrol your territory and attack suspicious targets. We do have one more region that's called the Black Heart region, but as of right now, we don't have any information on the possible deviants coming from this area. So technically, we've covered all the deviants that we know about. This was an insane list to go over, and a bit of an info dump, to be honest. If you made it this far into the video, comment "made it" down below so I can give you an extra shout out. But I think it's all been long enough here. I hope you guys all have an amazing day. I'm out.